Shakir. Your team. Our pizza. Picasso's. Order online today at Picasso'sPizza.net.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Picasso's pregame show for the AFC Championship. And I would be remiss to not bring in the full crew. We've got Dreamboat Donnie and the crew, Slick, Maniac, all down at Rec Room down there, downtown
Let's go.
Buffalo, getting the vibes. Guys, how are we feeling? How is the energy this from waking up this morning? We all woke up very early this morning, angsty, ready to get going for this game. How are the vibes in downtown Buffalo, Maniac?
I would describe them, you ever had one of those work days, it's in the middle of the week and you just got stuff beginning to end? I mean, that's what it feels like it's going to take today against these Kansas City Chiefs. We've got to clock in. Slick's got his hard hat, Union 166. He's ready to clock in. But no, it's going to take 60 minutes of effort. It's going to take offensive efficiency. It's going to take opportunistic defense, and it is going to take a play or two on the special teams. But we know what these Buffalo Bills are capable of. And I want to go in right off the gate here because I've seen a couple people who we respect in the sphere. I've seen Aaron Quinn. I've seen our own Mike Bunt say, you know what, regardless of what happens today, I'm not listening to any of regardless of what happens today. The whole narrative on the entire offseason was that the window is closed. You're not going to be able to do it without Diggs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now they have a chance to go farther than they ever went with Diggs. This is the opportunity the Bills are waiting for. This is the day to go 1-0, Slick.
I mean, the last time they were here, we have the infamous picture of Diggs looking at the Kansas City Chiefs celebrating their ticket that they just punched to a Super Bowl. It's only fitting that here we are again back at the Arrowhead Invitational, they've started to call it. And this is our moment. No one expected us to be here, but that's what we like. The Buffalo Bills are best when they're counted out, and I think that was them all season. Josh said it. They were too small, didn't have enough talent. They just put their heads down and worked their asses off, and here we are. We just beat the Ravens. What's good, man?
Let's go. Let's clock in.
Let's do it.
Speaking of clocking in, how about the Chiefs fans, everybody on the Chiefs Kingdom? By the way, shout out the Chiefs Kingdom, obviously. Back-to-back Super Bowl champions. You got to be the man, Slick. You got to beat the man. And that's what the Bills have a chance to do today. But how about the Chiefs Kingdom embracing all these excuses and angles? You got Andy Reid being like, well, we'll probably be underdogs. That was the most asinine thing I've ever heard. But then you have Xavier Worthy doing a total flip-flop now saying that he's got a chip on his shoulder for this Bills game. By the way, Xavier Worthy played very well in the November game in Ralph Wilson Stadium. In Highmark Stadium. I was going on it. No, he played very well. You got to give kudos where they are. We got to respect our opponents. So the Bills are definitely going to need to zero in on him for this game. But the Bills will have their own agent zero, Keon Coleman. And it's I know you're fired up for this Sunday AFC Championship affair.
Of course. I think you just mentioned Keon, and we didn't have Kincaid in this first matchup with the Chiefs. So I think there's going to be a lot of offensive weapons involved today. We're going to pull a lot of rabbits out of the hat, and that's what makes a magician the best magician. Is when he brings the rabbit out of the hat.
We got people pouring in.
Here's our VIP. They're coming to get the raffle tickets.
What do you got a prediction for today? You got to go into the mic. Or no, go into Dreamboat's mic. Go into Dreamboat's mic over there.
There you
so
go.
we can get you on camera.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I'm going to say 30-17.
30-17 from our
Love
VIP
it.
here at Rec Room.
Right.
Love that. Here, take your tickets. We're giving away some all games. There'll be a lot of giveaways if it's 30-17. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the good vibes going. Let's go,
How
sir.
we doing, bro?
Yeah. Everybody checking in with the Go Bills. You can't help but feel the vibes, Mike. I know you've been
you've
been getting them in Chicago this week, right?
Bro, that's what I was gonna say. The vibes are incredible around this team, and you guys have seen it. It seems like it's the same energy is here. Where we're excited to get going. It's not nerves as much. Last week was nerves. Last week was butterflies. Worried about the outcome. Today it's let's just go out there and ball out and do what they should do. Yeah, last Monday I walk out of my house wearing my Bills winter cap. Literally, this breakfast place is 1 block away. I have to walk 1 block across the street. I'm there. On the walk there and back, I get Go Bills. And I got one from this lady on the way back, and she looked like she gave me a Go Bills and then gave me a fist bump after. She was like, Go Bills. I'm yes, to see another Bills fan out. And it's been out. It's all week. The full support here. It's all over the country right now, honestly. Everybody wants the Bills to win this game and take down the Chiefs. It's a crazy kind of feeling going into this AFC Championship. And if you look at the parallels from 4 years ago, it's night and day. This feels like we're actually on the brink. That game, as fun as it was, and Maniac, you were there, so you can speak to it. it felt like more of a, it's nice to be here. Maybe we can pull something off. This game is like, we can do this.
Well, let's face it. When you get to the conference championship, no matter what, you have a little heat behind you. But I think you said that perfectly. It's kind of like when a tourney team makes Final Four weekend. You know, they ride that Cinderella vibe through the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. But then by that point, they're just playing so much better players with so much better staff, and there's just no opportunity for that underdog.
Not
now,
today's Sister Jean.
Yeah, not today's Sister Jean. With that said, yeah, that was the vibe. When we were in it 4 years ago, we couldn't tell that was exactly what was happening. But yeah, shout out John Robert. We're fucking go Bills. We hear it everywhere. Shout out Facebook. Shout out Picasso's. I got bad news if you haven't ordered your Picasso's yet. It is most likely too late.
Seats are going to be backed up.
Yeah, the Magic Dust is booked up.
They're going to be backed up all the way to Missouri.
The only sprinkles of Magic Dust we got left for the Bills with Khalil Shakir on the field. But Micah, what do you got for us? We're running it up here at Rec Room.
Let's break down the game a little bit then. We got the vibes. I think we're all feeling good going into it. So let's talk with the offense. Let's talk about Josh Allen. Let's talk about all those weapons. What do you expect from them today? And I'll let you know, Maniac, I would hit a button for 31 today. I would do that. Of course,
I would hit a button for 28 today.
I would hit a button for 28.
Okay, I would too. I would too.
I'd probably hit a button for 27.
Their line right now is 23.5 total points. That's the Bills over-under for the total.
I feel like that's disrespectful.
You know, the funny thing about the Bills offense is that, you know, you saw last week against the Ravens, right? It can be very methodical, very boa constrictor like, you know, when it wants to be, when it operates at that high efficiency. Obviously, that's a little bit tougher on the road. The Chiefs crowd's going to be going nuts. You know what I mean? They're going to be trying to make it tough on this Bills offensive front. But that's why you had that competency. And that's why what I want to focus on here. When we talk about the vibes, everyone here, I don't think we're talking about, you know, a cocky, like, confidence. I think we're talking about a belief in this team's competence. It is actually, you know, we believe they know they can go execute a game plan. And I just want to say this. Coach Joe Brady, he did have some moments the last couple weeks, but he hasn't quite put together his playoff masterpiece yet. Could it be on deck?
That's a great point.
Arrowhead this evening?
This is the spot to do it. Like I said, this is the spot to pull all the cards out. I know we were talking, you can't get too crazy on offense, but I think they got to let some things loose. I think they were being held back a little bit last game. There were some questionable play calls. I know we've discussed it on Pay the Bills, but we're on from the Ravens. And it says a lot, Maniac, that I think that we're all coming into this game more confident than last week. And hopefully today is that day that Joe Brady pulls all the cards out and really impresses us with an offensive showing. I think Matt Collins is going to ball out today. I have a strange feeling.
Speaking of balling out, shout out to our host here in Buffalo Rec Room. Obviously, Chippewa. Hey. You know, they're giving away a signed Josh Allen football. The first score for the Bills, we're giving this bad boy away to a patron. All you had to do is show up to Rec Room today. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. It's like,
it's right behind us, but we got some limited edition, some limited edition Kansas City Chief jerseys. They're black, the black and white edition. So if any KC fans show up, we got a little something for them as well. We like to welcome everyone here at Rec Room. Make sure everyone's accommodated and gets in on the gifts.
You're a great guy.
You never know who might show up. But Micah, on that note, who are you looking forward to showing up for the offense? We talked about the fact we think they're competent. You got your Allen, you got your Cook. I guess Shakir is about as sure thing you get on this offense. Anyone else you're looking at for going into Arrowhead?
Well, you mentioned Allen in the masterpiece portion. We haven't gotten the Allen masterpiece yet either, so that's something to watch for today with a guy who we talked about last week was a legacy game. We don't even need to discuss that topic this week for how big this is for Josh Allen. On offense, though, Matt Collins is a great point out there, Slick, because I do think the tight ends, Matt Collins, Kincaid, and Knox are going to be huge in today's game because the weakness of this Chiefs defense is those linebackers right in the middle of the field. So they're going to have opportunities to get big chunks over the middle of the field. I think that's where they attack, especially in play action. But what they're really going to do is run the damn ball at George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis he is a great pass rusher. He is a mid-run defender, and he will be matched up most of the day against Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown's going to win that matchup most of the day. They're going to pull Deion Dawkins a lot today at George Karlaftis and send Dawkins and Brown on that right side, and it's going to create a lot of problems for the Chiefs defense.
It seems like a big part of this matchup, Mike, obviously we can talk offense and defense. it's going to be on the left side of the line for both sides, right? Because
Yep.
the Chiefs are kind of using that reworked left side of the line with Tooney. That's an opportunity for Rousseau, Oliver, Daquan, Vaughn, who have all been playing their best ball of the season the last couple of weeks, numbers wise, PFF wise for sure.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, like you said, I didn't notice it big time. I guess they were getting after Josh a little bit, and that's where that it's kind of like a sketchy blitz that Spagnuolo runs. He throws that DB at you. And then you have Karlaftis, who obviously is doing well. You can never forget about Chris Jones. I don't want it to make it think we're forgetting about Chris Jones. But, yeah, like you said, getting Spencer Brown back versus that first matchup, or maybe we're looking to play a little big boy ball in Arrowhead.
I think that, you said that so well. That's the key to victory today. Like, the key to winning this game and why I feel so confident going into this game is that going into these matchups with Kansas City, they did not have the matchup advantage on the offensive line or the defensive line in either of those games. It was, Josh, you have to be special. We have to finesse our way through these games. And last year they were close, but they couldn't get it done in the moments that they needed to. The key play, obviously, the Chris Jones pushing back Deion Dawkins. I'm sure Deion has seen that play in his head every single night since that game last year. His offensive line is the best they've ever put now, and the defensive line is not the best, as good as we thought they would be. But as you said, there's an advantageous matchup against the Chiefs' offensive line, who's been struggling, who hasn't been great this year. If the Bills can win in the trenches, they win this game. And that's that's been their identity all year long.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we feel so good about this year, because that's the easiest path to victory, and it's very possible that they play in the trenches to win this game today.
Last week was a trenches battle. That's what I was worried about. And then the Denver game as well, when you had that defense coming at you with all the sacks they had on the season. Definitely going to be battle in the trenches on defense, though, because I feel like one of the key priorities, obviously, is getting as much pressure as you can on Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
that was something that they were able to do in the November matchup, and I know it's been talked about at length this week. Apparently, they have a reworked front, like we talked about with Tooney, and then they got some mess. But the Bills were able to get a lot of pressure on Mahomes in that November matchup. That's something, it sticks out like a sore thumb, they haven't been able to do in these January matchups, whether it was last year or whether it's previous matchups in Arrowhead. So you want to talk about hot seat. Rousseau, Oliver, they've been here for pretty much most of it. They've been here for some part or some role. Milano, now is the time.
Yep.
Mahomes is not easy to break down. We've seen the highlight plays in previous AFC championships, like 20 to 30-yard runs. He could bust up anytime. You have to be careful. But I said this earlier this week, I think, if you had any quarterback to warm you up for facing Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson running around and going crazy on the field is a pretty good warm-up. It should be a little bit more timid than that, and you should be able to make plays. Because I was liking that the front was able to make pressure. I just felt like nobody got home last week.
Front was able to make pressure. Lamar is one thing, definitely good to prep for a guy that can scramble as well as Patrick can, too. But I was just so impressed at our ability to shut down Derrick Henry. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to have much of a run game going today. We'll see what the offensive game plan is.
Don't sleep on Pacheco.
I'm not sleeping on him, but
I would say he's good annoying. That's how I would label him. He's good annoying. He runs so angry. Even when he's running those 3 to 4 yard gains, he's like, I'm going to get hit.
Yeah.
Like, you need to. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't even know if hitting him is the answer, because he kind of like hulks up when he gets hit. Like, you got to be very careful. I'm just saying. I think just keeping him contained like he kept Henry is key for sure.
And Kareem Hunt's been running well for them too since he came back too. So they're gonna try to establish the run as much as anything else as well. But it's going to be an interesting battle. But
last time
we didn't see Pacheco last time. Agreed. That's the one big one they're getting back.
Hurt last
Was
game.
there any other big pieces from the previous matchup for their side?
I think there was a corner. I think one of their corners was out, but one of their starting corners, not McDuffie, but somebody else. Yeah, I think so. But it's pretty even. I mean, everybody's besides Rapp. It's a pretty healthy. I mean, we have the injury report now, don't we? Let's see.
Yeah, we have an injury report. I think, like you said though, that's why it hasn't gotten much attention, because it's kind of like a moot point on both sides. They're both getting players back, Donnie.
Yeah, last game, if you remember, Kelsey struggled early in the season, and in that game, he was locked in on Aristor. That distraction was there. It benefited us. It benefited a lot of teams. Give him his credit, though. Aristor ended. All of a sudden, he's back to the Travis Kelsey everyone knew, including last week.
Wasn't it?
So I'll say they had Travis Kelsey, but it was Eras Tour version Travis Kelsey, which is a different player. So
Travis Kelsey, the Eras version, Taylor's version.
yeah.
So we don't have an injury report, so that means they are pushing kickoff.
Oh,
past,
these teams are
5:30.
these teams are keeping it. These teams are keeping it close to the best. What's the live time right now? 5:15, 5:20?
It's
we got
it's 5:03 right now.
Okay,
so I'm just saying we're
5:03.
gonna get a solid 6:45 Eastern kickoff is what I'm guessing. We'll get a nice
This
little
is gonna be nice and stressful. Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna let it ride here. Let's talk about someone who's not stressed right now. Let's take a break here. Let's go to Puffin Papa.
Yeah,
he's
Puffin Papa.
Please,
Please, thank you, Papa. Please, Papa.
Let's see what he's doing.
Please, Papa.
Today's the day, baby. Today's the day. I got that feeling. We're going to get ready. A little bowl of pineapple jack clouds. Bills Mafia, let's go. Oh, yeah. Let's go, Bills. We got you, baby. KC. F-U-K-C. Bills Mafia. Today's the day, baby. We love you.
All right, today's the day. Thank you.
Special.
All right, I was nervous that today may not have been the day, but thank you, Puffin Papa.
Puffin Papa
it is
said
time
it
to F-U-K-C. Obviously, thank you, Papa. But yeah, no lost words as we kind of roll on here. Do we want to flip-flop, or do we got anything else in the middle for the Bills offense, Micah?
I think let's go to the defense. Let's see how do you want to if you were designing the defense today, Maniac, what would be your 3 keys to defending Pats in this offense? What would you want to see from them?
Oh, my bad. I don't know if Tom is joining in. I'm sorry. We got.
How do you think they will spy Mahomes?
I think they may spy Mahomes with
it's
Bernard,
a good idea.
with Bernard and Milano occasionally. They're definitely not going to do it every down. I think it's more in those 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 12 spots if they don't bring pressure for sure. But if I'm the Bills defense coordinator right now, Babbage, McDermott, it's very funny because I want to be aggressive up front. I want Oliver, Coe, and everything to get over those, those susceptible parts of the Chiefs D-line or O-line. I want it. Maybe I get a good rotation going in early with those guys. But I am treating Cole Bishop like my flag in Capture the Flag. They cannot get to Cole Bishop. They cannot run any offense that is going to get downfield, that is going to interfere, that is going to get to Cole Bishop. That's the way I'm taking it. So I'm being aggressive up front. I'm being responsible in the middle, and I'm being hyper.
Let's go.
I don't know if it's aggressive with the corners. I don't know what it is, guys, because they're the defensive geniuses. But we cannot sit Cole Bishop back and let them attack, because that's exactly what they want to do, right?
Yes. I mean, if there's a weak spot that they're going to target, it's going to be finding ways to get, and honestly, to get even more specific, isolate Travis Kelsey on both safeties, I think. I think they're going to attack Hamlin and Bishop, because Hamlin obviously is going to have a lot more responsibility today, being the kind of the leader back there with Rapp out. He's going to take on a lot more responsibility.
Yeah.
And Bishop's going to kind of be left to be out there and free. That being said, though, I think spying Mahomes is the key to this game, and not letting him kind of get, those 20, 25-yard runs that he's willing to do. Like, everybody seems to – a lot of teams, the Bills, I feel like do a decent job of it the last couple of years. But everybody seems to forget Mahomes is going to be mobile in the playoffs. Like, he just doesn't care to run in the regular season. He can run. He can move.
People always say that Allen was like Roethlisberger, but that's not true, because Allen moves like quick in the pocket so much like quicker than Roethlisberger. Mahomes is really the Roethlisberger plus. He can stand in the pocket, stay tall, and stay and throw. Or he can just be just big enough to kind of move around, and he buys so much time when he does it. He's amazing at it. He saves that as the ultimate weapon in his repertoire. His ability to move and then leave the pocket eventually. And unfortunately, he breaks it out more often than not late in the season.
He does.
I think it was late last season in Baltimore. I think it was 2 years ago against the Eagles. I know he killed them in the Super Bowl with their legs, but yeah. Well, finds a way. We got to find a way.
When everything is on the line, he tries to find a way. I mean, I remember that one game where they shot him up in the ankle with every drug they had in the locker room, probably, and he was scrambling
Shout out Roger.
He was scrambling like the Roadrunner in the second half. So you never know what Pat Mahomes is capable of on the legs.
Percocet.
Percocet.
Yeah. Let's talk about Perk Rogers, shall we?
Perky Rogers is great. What a guy.
Perk Rogers is like Perk Angle, but yeah, no. Anyways, definitely the spy is the move. I think in terms of
Yeah, I
watching
mean,
Mahomes.
again, you can't do it every play because if you're spying him every play, they can
Yeah,
do like
it's easy to
quick
read.
outs and shit
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
for
But yeah,
sure.
I think it's on those in between right plays, maybe even on the 3rd and shorters than that. Like maybe on 3rd and 6+, you want to get
can see
aggressive.
that.
Maybe it's on the 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s that you do it. That you do that aggressive spy, right, where you kind of wait 3 to 4 seconds, you see what opens up, and then you go wherever you would anticipate the quarterback stepping up to. But yeah, it's a Milano and Bernard day. I mean, you can complain about
Agreed.
everything you want. If you're a Bills fan, the one thing you were saying at the end of last year was that, man, if we had, it was well, first off, like you could have talked the catches from Sherfield and Diggs. There were about 3 of them. But the one thing they got talked about to no end is Terrell Bernard having to miss that game, not having Matt Milano for that game, being forced by AJ Klein. So now you have those 2 guys. So that should be an advantage in that Kelsey matchup. I know that Kelsey's playing his best ball he's played all year. I know his fucking brother told me 1 year ago this week, he said that the Big Yeti loves the cold. And we got to be careful because the Big Yeti does love the cold. We got to take him out early and often, though. Early and often, Micah.
Yeah, I think this is a Taron Johnson game for sure. He's going to be lining up.
He's key.
He's going to be the guy that's going to be against Kelsey a lot in those nickel situations when they put Kelsey in the slot. I'd like even just having him man-to-man because they use a lot of motion with him and just follow him around. And I think I've the utmost confidence, though, in Taron Johnson to match up against old man Kelsey. He's been good in the past. I think this is the time we shut him down.
It's Terran time, baby.
Well,
Where are we on? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The other thing that to add on to it is the edges need to play well to keep Mahomes contained and everything else. That's obvious enough. Ebenezer, Rousseau, Miller going to have a big game. I think the person I'm eyeing is Von Miller, though. Here we go. Waiting for Von Miller to have 3 Super Bowls, 3 different teams. If we're talking about Von Miller, the story of Von Miller with the Bills, it's obviously not what we thought it was going to be, but the injury has a lot to do with that. But you signed him for this, this exact moment is why Von Miller was signed 3 years ago. And you know we saw the video from him earlier, awesome hype video. You know that's what's in his mind. This is probably his last real chance to make an impact on a championship winning team. And I think Von Miller is honestly going to have one of the best performances we've ever seen him as a Bill today. I truly think he is built for a moment like this. And if you're ever going to throw it back, Von, now or never, right? And I think that he's a guy that can do that one more time, turn it back and have a real impact.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. He had that first run with the Broncos where he was the Jack Sparrow, he was the superstar. Then he had the second run where it's dead man's chest. It's it's all kinds of nonsense going on. But now, because Mikey, you got to admit, we probably would be in the same spot if we had unnamed DE 3 this year.
Agreed.
But we are at the point where Will Turner can emerge from the ocean as Davy Jones and have the heart of Davy Jones, and that would be Von Miller making a big play today. He does specialize in conference championships.
He does. He loves these matchups. He loves these moments. So I'm really excited to see what a guy like he does. But what else do we need to touch on before we give our predictions, our final bets, everything? Anything else? I was
going to say the crowd. Are we fooling ourselves on how crazy this crowd is going to be? Is it going to inhibit the Bills' offense?
I think there's too many Bills fans there for it to truly inhibit the offense. I think it's going to be like a college bowl game where it's like a 65-35, 60-40 split. We had the Bills backer, Jack from the KC Bills backers. He said that he would expect it to be around 60-40. I thought he would know more than me. I would be happy with 60-40, but even if it's 70-30, 65-35
would be insane.
60-40 would be wild.
70-30 would be insane. I would take that
because that's just noise.
Second.
Because then the game is just noise the whole game. Then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It might get louder
point,
for the Bills on offense, but it's just constant yelling and noise the whole time. The environment's going to be chaotic the whole time.
Yeah, you can't tone it out at that point. And I feel like oftentimes that's an environment that Josh thrives in, is when all the pressure's on.
Yeah, I mean, when the cooker goes up, he typically does.
People forget about the 13-second game, how clutch Josh was on that drive to score and get that ball to Gabe Davis.
Twice.
It's always just overshadowed by the fact that we ended up losing that game. Josh thrives on that moment. He had every fan in that stadium going into his ear, basically, on both of those drives, like you said, Micah, and found Gabe in the end zone each time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that atmosphere looks like. It's gonna be a nut show there. It's gonna be an awesome spot. This is crazy. Like the fact that we are here talking
It's
about
crazy,
this game 4
man.
years
Rec Room
later,
is starting
Bills,
to pack
Chiefs,
up.
like that's awesome. Vibes are getting crazy there. So let's start to wrap up. Let's get you guys going to get there. Let's get our predictions, parlays, everything else. I have one big parlay here. I'm hitting one of these in this playoff run here. And I think today is the day. Hold up, I gotta find it here. We've got the Bills to win, Josh Allen touchdown, James Cook touchdown, over 23.5, and a Von Miller sack. It's plus 1604. That's what I'm going with today.
Hell yeah, free money.
That's my
What is
Von
it?
Miller hype.
Is it over a half at the bottom or is it over 0.25?
It's just to record one sack.
Okay, okay.
Or one.
I would
sack.
have to have thought that you would throw that 23.5 over in there because that just seems ridiculous
I love
to
it.
me.
It is ridiculous to me. And
I
also
will say, my Vegas mind is always on. That is very sketchy. That is very sketchy. We have a rather nice day in Arrowhead. These are two powerhouse offenses. Are we going to be seeing like I'm knocking on wood? Like, please hope it be the Bills. Like 7 to 8 minute drives here. Like wasn't it was there a Houston Texan 10-minute drive last week against the Chiefs?
It was Houston 10 minutes and followed up by KC 7.5 minutes. So that was the whole third quarter, basically, that one drive, those two drives there. This 9 is at, what are we at, 49.5 now? So it's essentially a 27-24 game is what they're expecting, which was the same score as last year.
Bills.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
Bills.
Really,
24.
There's never to get into the prediction part. In my anytime touchdown, I picked Dawson Knox. I think we've been laying Dawson Knox in the big games all year long, so it's got to happen one of these times, right? I felt good all week, guys. I felt way worse last week. I felt good coming into this week. I'm sticking with my prediction from the show on Tuesday. Bills 35, Chiefs 27, and that touchdown comes late. The Bills are up 35-20 with under 5 minutes to go. Casey scrambles, garbage time to cut it to 8. Bills recover the onside kick. Game over. That's my prediction for the game today.
I'd do anything for that.
Yeah. I'll take it
with that said, I would also do anything for my prediction. A little bit of a sloppy game. Might be a late score, like you said, Micah. Bills win 26-19.
Ew.
Like it.
I mean,
I'll
I'll take it if that's the opposing team.
Yeah.
My prediction's not going to change much, but I am going to keep it around the same. I'm going to go 37 Bills, Chiefs 24. I think this will be a shellacking at one point. Second half, we might really find our mojo and things will get cooking. No pun intended. And the Bills, B-U-F-F-A-L-O. Bills are going to the Super Bowl.
Hey.
Knock on wood.
Knocking. I'm knocking.
All right.
Slap the cap.
Donnie?
Here we go. I got two things going. I got a parlay much like you. It's just props, though. It's just Bills, and I'm relying on two guys to come through. Dalton Kincaid over receptions and a touchdown. James Cook over rushing, 55.5 and a touchdown. I think Dalton's line is at 36.5. That comes out to be about 19-1, and I'm going to sprinkle on that. Furthermore, I said earlier this week at Herbal IQ, my prediction was 38-28 Bills. I think Bills are only up a field goal late. They get the ball back under 2 minutes, and they pound it home just to say, fuck you, Kansas City. We're winning by 10. It's our time, okay? And if you think the Chiefs Kingdom is going to reign anymore, delete the hashtag. It's gone because nobody wants to face the Bills right now. Nobody wants to face this team and ride it out because what you going to do when the Buffalo Bills circle the wagons on you, Kansas City? Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, folks, we got about 90 minutes till kickoff.
90 minutes.
Let's strap in. Let's do our thing. Let's be the best fans in the damn world, and let's go.
Bills. I love you.